My name's John Peterson. I'm a musician and instrument builder in Western North Carolina, and I was born with a rare birth defect called Poland syndrome. And this series of videos is about growing up with Poland syndromes and how I overcame certain things and how I do everyday chores and such like that. Also, a couple friends of mine, Rich and Mario, who are also musicians, have also made a series of videos about their experiences with Poland syndrome. First off, a little bit of history about Poland syndrome. It was discovered in 1962 by doctors Clarkson and Evans at Guy's Hospital in London, and they had 3 patients who had underdeveloped chest muscles and a deformity of the extremity on the affected side. And looking at hospital records, they did find one other reference to someone with the same signs from 1841, a fellow by the name of George Elt, who was a patient of Dr. Alfred Poland. Now, since Evans and Clarkson found more than one isolated case, they knew they had a birth defect that they had found. And so they named it after Alfred Poland, so it's called Poland syndrome. And Poland syndrome affects anywhere from every 1 in 7,000 to every 1 in 100,000 births. And the reason there's such a vast range of that is that some of the signs are real subtle and people might not even know they have the defect. Like they might just have a underdeveloped muscle in their chest, and that might just be it. So it might just go undiagnosed. Whereas some people have more than one sign, as in my case. It affects males about 3 times more than females, and it affects the right side of the body about twice as much as the left-hand side of the body. As for causes, it's not really known, but they think it might be caused by a cutoff of the blood supply of the fetus around the collarbone on the 46th day of development. And some of the clinical signs of Poland syndrome include an underdeveloped chest, and that's probably the most common sign. And then there's more advanced signs too. First off, underdeveloped chest. I'm missing a pectoral muscle right here. Also, another sign is an abnormal or missing rib. I also have a missing rib here. Abnormal arm bones, and so my right arm is shorter than my left arm, so my bones are a little bit smaller. Also, short fingers, missing fingers, webbed fingers. Those are the most common signs, and there's some other signs too. And if you do some research on the web, you can find those other signs of Poland syndrome. As for surgeries I've had 4 major surgeries. And when I was born, my right hand was fused together in like a paddle. And when I was a year old, they separated the pinky and the thumb from the paddle, and I had that surgery at the Cleveland Clinic. And then when I was about 4 years old, I had another surgery also at the Cleveland Clinic. And in that surgery, they separated the ring finger and the index finger. And my middle finger bone, it was so thin that the doctors knew that I'd be breaking it a lot, so they just did me a favor and just cut the thing off. So that's why I only have 4 fingers. And so my middle finger nub is right here. As for my range of motion with my hand, my thumb has the greatest range of motion. I can move it sideways like this, and also forwards and backwards like this. My index finger has no movement at all. I can't move that at all. My pinky I can move, but just about this much, and that's about it with my pinky. And my ring finger, I can move it, but I have to move it along with my pinky. So this is about the maximum movement I can get with my hand. I can sort of touch my, I can touch my pinky with my thumb and my ring finger with my thumb. I can't reach over. I can touch my index finger if I lay it on top of that, but otherwise I really can't do much with my index finger. It's a good pointer though. You know, it's about what it's good for. So that's my first video on Poland syndrome. In future videos, I'll be showing you how I do like everyday activities and how I play musical instruments. Also, my experiences growing up with Poland syndrome. Also, in the text for this video, there will be links to Mario's and Rich's sites on their videos about Poland syndrome. There's also lots of information on the web. There's a Poland syndrome Facebook page. And so if you have Poland syndrome or if you have a child with Poland syndrome, just want you to know that you can pretty much do anything that anyone else can do. So